Welcome to the Golfish Podcast. I'm your host, Amy Goodman. Every week on our show, we're going to bring you fascinating interviews with the families, coaches, caddies, and industry professionals of the PGA, LPGA, Champions Tour, and beyond. Subscribe now so you don't miss a minute of the action. Hello, everyone. We are back for part 2 with Jenn Harrington. This week, we discuss our love of dogs, behind the scenes at a PGA tournament, and how to spot a tour wife. Let's get started. Earlier, you talked about your dog obsession. So let's talk about your adorable stinking dogs. They're so cute. They're Instagram famous. I'm only I say everything from Instagram because that's my only form of social media that I can actually handle and digest. So that's where I see all of your funness with your dogs. But you have 2, right?
We really love them. We have Reggie, who is our French bulldog, and he was Scott. I think he was 1 when Scott and I started dating.
How in the world did Scott have a dog traveling all the time?
I don't know. He got him, so he loved French bulldogs, and this is horrible, but he found him at a pet store, and he was in the window. And Scott saw him with his this is the story Scott tells me. We weren't together when he got him, but he saw his big giant ears, and he had the markings that Scott really wanted in a French bulldog. He has kind of unique markings for a Frenchie, and he had to have him. And so he got him. I know he stayed, with our friend, Jamie, that plays golf with Scott a lot, when Scott was on the road. And luckily, he was only 1, and then I came into the picture, and from the second Scott and I started dating, I had Reggie every time Scott went out of town. So
Aww, that's awesome. And you love them, so that's perfect.
Oh, I mean, I think they're the cutest. They're just the funniest little dogs. And then I had a Sheltie who, his name is Hog. His name used to be Bentley, or he was born when I got him, we named him Bentley, but he ate everything and we just called him Hog, and it stuck. And it's not actually a fitting name for a Sheltie, but then when you get to know him, it fits. So there are 2 children for now. And it's pretty funny when we travel, I get so sad leaving them, and I always joke, I'm if this is how I am leaving our dogs, what is it going to be like when we have kids?
I know
I can't even imagine. We have we went through IVF right before I started chemo to preserve fertility, and we have 10 embryos waiting for us, and I'm this is just scary. I'm already obsessed with my dog so much, and everyone says your dogs take a back seat, and I just don't.
You're wait, I don't understand. That's how everyone says that, and I'm I don't really understand how that works, because we had a Sheltie until
you did?
Until February of 18. She was 17. She was amazing. I got her as a freshman in high school, very similar to Scott. She was at a pet store that has unfortunately since been closed down because so many of their animals were dying.
Same with Reggie's initial home.
Yeah.
Humble beginnings.
Oh, yes. So, my sister, it's even worse too. It was a dog store in the mall. Let's be real. How disastrous can this be, right?
It was right in the middle of the mall.
Oh yeah. So my sister,
and I loved going in there every time I went to the mall.
Oh,
you just
so
can't
dangerous. Yes. You just want to play with them and take them all home. She was the last of her litter. She was the runt. And my sister-in-law told my mom, because my sister-in-law was a store manager at the mall and a jewelry store at the time. She was oh, you have to go check out this dog. She's so sweet. And God love my mom, but she was if you spend your savings on her, you can get her. Okay. Like, I'm a freshman in high school. Let's be real. I probably didn't even know I had a savings account, and you just told me I could get a dog. Like, I'm in. Take all my money. I don't care.
Yeah, like,
That's
I don't
fine.
care.
Yeah.
I'll
And
get that money back someday when I actually need it.
Yeah. And then, I mean, obviously, like, I went through high school, and then I went to college, so she became my mom's dog. And then I got a dog a handful of years ago. He's 9 now, so I got him when he was very young, and Kingston is our Yorkie, and he and Zeta, the Sheltie, became inseparable. So the first night when I moved out, after I moved back from college, I was home for a couple years. I went to move out. Both dogs slept at the front doors. And my mom called me and she's like, yeah, I don't think they can be separated. And I was like, oh, okay, I guess I have 2 dogs now.
That is so cute.
Yeah. Yeah. So they were super
My
close.
parents have a Yorkie.
Oh, that's awesome.
And they had, Hog's brother, my parents had his litter mate. We lost my childhood Sheltie. And then my mom was like, we need to get a new puppy right away. It's the only way I'm going to get through this. And so we went to this breeder, and it was right after Christmas, and they wheeled out like 8 little Sheltie puppies in a red wagon. They have little red bows around their necks.
Stop.
And all, little fluff balls. And I was in love with one. My mom was in love with another. I had just moved back to Scottsdale from college, and I was living with 3 of my closest guy friends at the time. And I'm like, I need this puppy. And I would not put Hog down. My mom would not put Colby down. And so my dad's like, fine, whatever. So we ended up going home with 2 puppies. And,
that's great.
I mean, my dad's such a sucker. He loves dogs too. And he can't really say no to his girl.
Oh yeah.
So we ended up with 2 puppies, and they were just so cute. And we just lost Colby last week, Hog's brother.
Oh my gosh.
And it was awful, but they live such long lives, which
they do, which is so, it's so
15.
wonderful.
Yeah, they are. I mean, Hog's 15 and he still looks like a puppy, and I'm convinced that he is going to live forever because that's the only option.
Exactly. Yes, I completely agree with you. That is the only option. I tell that to Kingston all the time, even when he's driving me bonkers, which if you have not heard him during this interview, and if people do not hear him when we release this podcast, that's amazing, because he is just running around up here with me. He used to sleep through all my interviews. He was a great, little co-host. He would sit on a chair and he would just pass out. And I was like, I don't know if you think I'm boring or if I'm that soothing, but now he just thinks it's time to play. And I'm like, no, I am busy. You just need to hold on for a second. But he does not understand. Exactly. It's like, wait a second. I only hear one side of this conversation. Nothing can be that important.
I haven't heard him at all.
Oh, that's good.
He's very discreet. Yes.
He's not usually in life, so that's good that he has figured that out today. So, very early in the conversation, you were talking about, obviously, your career, global commercial real estate. Scott Travel is now on the PGA Tour. How do y'all balance that?
It is, I think that it's difficult, but it's all we've ever known in our relationship, which I think makes it easy.
Yeah.
Or easier. But communication is key. We, like I said, from the day we met, we haven't gone a day without talking. And he, when he wakes up in the morning, we're on different time zones a lot of times and stuff. He always texts me good morning and says, I'm on my way out to the course. And we talk every night. And then we try to make sure that we, when we look at his schedule and what he's going to play, that we kind of coordinate that with my work. And we make sure if he's playing more than 2 weeks in a row that I'm out there for one of the weeks.
Okay.
It's hard for me. There's a lot of wives that are out there, not so much on the Korn Ferry Tour, but on the PGA Tour, there's a lot of wives that are out there every week. And it's important to me to have a career, at least now. And so I can't, I can work from anywhere, but it's distracting. If I'm on the road, I want to go watch Scott play. I want to go,
absolutely.
you know, and so we just try to make it a point of really sitting down and sort of talking through the schedule and then deciding what tournaments I'm going to go to if he's going to play this many in a row.
How often do you, I mean, when you're looking at that schedule, like how often do you anticipate when you're looking at like a year or a season, which is like 51 weeks now because they're out of their minds?
That's crazy.
It's so crazy. How many do you think you will average in a PGA Tour season?
It is hard. It's hard to say. So just looking at the start of the year is going to be pretty heavy because it's all on the West Coast and we're in Arizona. So the year starts out in Hawaii, which I obviously have to go to that.
Well, yeah.
What kind of wife would I be if I didn't?
I know. You have to support him there. I mean, if you're going to go anywhere, that's it.
So it starts in Hawaii. We go there, and then we've got this is not probably in the correct order, but it's Palm Springs, Torrey Pines, and then we have Waste Management in Phoenix. And then I think it's Pebble Beach. And so all of those, I'm like, well, it doesn't really make sense for me not to go to any of those because they're so close.
Right.
I have friends in all of those cities. I mean, Palm Springs, I can literally, it's like a 3.5, 4-hour drive out there. So some of those I may go out to just on the weekend. And then we've got Riviera in LA. So those are all back to back to back. And then it goes over to Florida. And I'll probably, since he's going to play the whole West Coast swing, I'm guessing he'll probably take a couple of the Florida ones off. So the beginning of the year is going to be heavy. And then I'd say I'll probably go out like every 3 weeks. Maybe.
Okay.
So
will y'all be
one a month?
Will y'all be at the Waste Management? Did I miss that one?
Yes.
You will be. Awesome. We will be there too. Super excited.
Oh, you will?
Yes.
We have to meet up.
Yes, we will definitely have to.
Yeah, we actually, so Waste Management's one of the harder ones to get into.
Okay.
Especially as a rookie. And Scott is second in his category right now, which I think he probably has like a 20% chance of getting into on his number, which is kind of crazy, given that he's so high up in his category, which is the rookie category. Okay. But we were surprised last week. We went to a luncheon it was the Waste Management kickoff luncheon at the Thunderbirds, which is a local philanthropic group. They're the ones that put on the tournament.
Okay.
They surprised Scott, if he needs it, with a sponsor exemption.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. So they did like a really nice presentation for us, and we had no idea. We thought we were just going to the luncheon to shake hands and
that's so
hopefully,
exciting. Yeah.
Try to kind of convince some people that we deserve that exemption, but they already had it waiting for us. So
that's fantastic.
Yeah, so we'll definitely be out there.
Good.
Whether he gets in on his number or on a sponsor exemption, we're in. So, and that's a fun, crazy one. And he's played it once before. He Monday qualified in probably 4 years ago, and it was really fun. He actually played with John Rahm, and I think John Rahm was playing as an amateur at the time.
Oh gosh, yeah, that seems like 100 years ago.
Yeah, I know. It's wild. I think it was his last year at ASU, and so that was the last time. It's just really nuts to think that it was that long ago. But
right.
So yeah, it's a super fun one. So we're excited, and just being in our hometown. And
oh yeah, that makes a huge
Scott
difference
feels
too.
like the pressure is kind of off when you Monday in. It's sort of it's like a one-time opportunity to get something done. Where now he's pretty much locked up for the year.
Yeah.
And so he can actually just go out there and kind of relax and have fun.
Good. What is it like as a Korn Ferry wife, as a PGA wife? What is it like behind the scenes at these golf tournaments?
These guys are they're pretty uninteresting, to be honest.
We won't tell anyone you said that.
Maybe there's some fun stuff that goes on in the locker room, but
oh, okay, yeah.
Behind the scenes at these tournaments, I mean, we get there really early. Everyone's in player dining, eating their breakfast. Scott usually gets out to the course, I don't know, 2 hours before his tee time so that he can eat. And then he has this stretch, like mobility routine that he does. And then he goes out and warms up and then he gets out there. But everyone is very friendly and they're just all normal people.
Yeah.
And
do y'all get starstruck by anyone?
So the fall season, not a lot of the big big name players have been out there. Justin Thomas was out in Napa, and we had totally opposite tee times, so I never really saw him. Adam Scott was playing in the group behind us, and in Napa, and he's pretty easy on the eyes.
Oh, so. Yeah, there's not a lot that's hurting there.
No.
I have to remember that as I'm watching the President's Cup. I'm like, I can't cheer for you this weekend. I'm really sorry. Don't hold it against me.
It's hard. It's so hard. Well, so when Scott played well in Napa. He finished in the top 25, but I think it was on Sunday, Scott was literally one group ahead of him, and Scott's like, I've noticed you keep falling back as you're following. And I'm like, I'm only human.
Right? So. He must have a really good
too.
Skincare routine, Scott, just trying to take notes.
Yeah. There's, the funny thing is Scott's brother's name is Adam. So they're like my little Adam Scott.
That's great. What tips would you have for someone that hasn't been to a tournament or hasn't been to many? What would you recommend, like, that they do or see or maybe experience in a city? Like, what are some of those things that you've really been able to embrace as you're getting to travel the country to these tournaments?
So I think people think it's really weird, and I don't know if this is just Scott because he's so old. He's 39.
I mean, so close to retirement, tour. You should let him know that.
Yeah, I know. But the day is so long when he's playing a tournament, like when he gets out there 2 hours before his round, and then they play like a 5-hour round, and then sometimes there's some press afterwards. And by the time you eat, and then you've got to probably have an early tea time the next day.
Yep.
Like, there's not a lot of time to go out and explore these towns. And unfortunately, like, the whole week is booked. So it's not like if you get there Monday, you've got some time to do stuff, especially being a rookie on this tour. He's not as familiar with these courses as he was on the Korn Ferry tour.
Okay.
And so he's out there prepping starting Monday, just walking the courses and getting to know the courses. And then there's usually a pro-am and a practice round. And so your Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday is taken up by that. And then you've got the tournament. So really, and then you've got to fly, Sunday night, you're flying to the next city.
Right.
So exploring the city isn't something that we do a lot of. And if we are, that probably means he's missed a cut.
Okay.
Which is never a good thing.
Right. So you don't really prefer to see any of these cities.
Right, which is a bummer because now being on the PGA Tour, they play in a lot of cool places.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So we have to get better about that. Maybe make a little time at least to check out more good local restaurants or something at night. But we are really bad about that, and don't get out and see as much as we should. But as far as going to the tournaments is concerned, I think it's fun to, I would say just from my experience, because like I said, like sort of having some sort of a vested interest in it or being really interested in somebody doing well is a total, it's a great way to grab your attention and really get you sucked into the golf game. And so I think you should go out there and follow, one of the leader groups and pick someone that that's kind of your favorite.
Yeah.
And root for them, because I think like rooting for someone makes the game more interesting to watch. And then just the typical stuff, like don't yell in people's backswings and don't walk across the fairway when someone's on the tee box. And
we still seem to need a lot of reminders about that.
Yeah, we see a lot of that, but it can be confusing walking a golf course sometimes. Those ropes aren't always totally clear where you should go. So
yeah, some tournaments are much better than others with that. Yeah. And with like volunteers or someone that's like regulating all of that. Absolutely.
Oh, and don't wear heels.
Thank you.
Management and I was planning on walking around.
I was so going to ask you that because we have been to a handful of golf tournaments, and we're very fortunate that we've been able to go to the Masters a few times. And I see these poor girls show up in heels, and I was going to ask, and then I was like, man, I don't know that I've seen what she actually wears. Like, what if she does that? Because I wore sandals to one golf tournament. I have worn gym shoes to every other one. I will never wear sandals again. I ended up in like the emergency tent and could barely walk. Yes. I was like, never again am I doing this to myself. So I'm so glad you said that, because so many of these girls, like, they look great, but girl, you better be standing in one spot the entire day.
Yeah. I mean, if you're going there to sit at one of the clubhouses or something.
Totally different. Absolutely.
Up in a skybox. Like, I guess you can do that. Waste management, you see heels everywhere. Actually, the year Scott played, it was pouring rain. And for anyone that hasn't been to waste management, it is like a see and be seen event. And it's mostly like a party, so, with a little bit of golf thrown in.
Got it.
Like,
okay.
The golf is sort of an afterthought.
Yeah.
And so it's hilarious. I mean, the stuff that people wear to waste management is not golf appropriate whatsoever, but they call it the biggest party on grass. So the year Scott played, it was pouring rain. The hills were all muddy. And I mean, I saw probably 3 different girls like slide down a hill in their heels and like short skirts.
Oh, yeah.
And trust me, I love clothes and I love fashion, but I don't think a golf tournament is the place to get.
Is the place where, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm always impressed.
Unless you're, like you said, unless you're just sitting in a skybox all day.
And totally different. Totally different. Yeah. I always love these girls that, and guys for that matter. I mean, it can absolutely be either one, that it's like a 90% chance of rain and they show up in all white. And I'm like, best of luck to you. Nope. I hope you're throwing those away.
Move. Don't do it.
Like, it's just not going to work. It's not going to work.
No.
Let it go. I mean, you look great until it starts raining, and then you're going to look like a disaster.
Yeah. Yeah, and check the weather before you go out there. That's always a good one. Take an umbrella.
Oh, yeah.
Take a rain jacket. But I would say, I mean, most of the wives out there are usually in some form of workout attire, or in like Lululemon. It's like cute athleisure.
Yeah. You have to, I will say, for a lot of the wives, you really have to know who you're looking for to know who they are. For the most part. Every once in a while, there will be some people that will like surround them. But we were at the RBC Heritage this year, and I still do not know whose wife it was. It had to have been and I only say it had to have been a wife of a successful player, because I was with a couple of girlfriends, and they were like, "Did you see that handbag?" And I mean, it was like a clutch. And she Googled it, because you can have your phones at that tournament. And I mean, it was like a $6,000 handbag that was like, that could fit my phone. But she wasn't with, like, she was with a couple of other women, and they were consistently following groups. So I'm like, yeah, no, that's a player's wife. I just don't know who it is. But she, outside of that, she was in athleisure. So you really have to know.
Like it's like the wise thing is to have a bag. Like you can usually spot them in the group because of the bag.
Oh, that's funny. That's good to know.
Yeah, I'm guilty.
I'm guilty. Well, I can't wait to see what you're holding in January then.
I earned it myself, but
see, there you go.
Yeah, usually you can spot them because they've got like, we all have our like crossbody designer bag. And then we're wearing leggings and look like we're going to the gym.
That's so funny. Well, Jen,
I usually have a hat on, like a pink hat.
Agree. Yes.
To represent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you can remember, I mean, there are a lot of players out there. If you can remember who's sponsored by who, that always helps.
Yeah. Yeah. If you see that hat, that's usually a good indicator.
Yeah,
it keeps
absolutely.
Our scalps protected from
from all the sun that you're going to be getting. Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Well, Jen, it has been an absolute pleasure chatting with you. You are so much fun. I cannot wait to meet you and Scott in January. It is going to be absolutely incredible. Are you ready to play a quick 9?
Oh gosh, yes.
They are all very painless questions, I promise.
Okay.
What is your favorite golf memory?
Portland, hands down.
Are you a road tripper or a frequent flyer?
I prefer road trips because I am a terrible packer. And when we drive, I can just throw my entire closet into the car.
I'm with you. I like that answer. What's your favorite place to travel?
Ooh. So every summer, we go to Laguna Beach, and we do it for my birthday, and we spend a little less than a week there, and it's our place to unwind and just sort of reconnect in the middle of the season. And that's got to be my favorite place.
Absolutely.
I just love everything about it. I grew up in California half my life, and so it's fun to go back there.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Are you an early bird or a night owl?
I'm a night owl. I used to be an early bird, and through chemo, I have gotten just horrible insomnia. And I also just sort of have this weird amount of energy at night that I don't have during the day. So I'm much more alert this time of day than I would have been at 6 o'clock in the morning.
So I'm glad we're doing this late then.
Yeah, me too.
Do you prefer to binge watch or are you a bookworm?
I'm a binge watcher.
What are you binging right now? Besides Hallmark Christmas movies.
Hallmark. Yeah. That's literally it. We're really into Handmaid's Tale.
Oh yeah. I just watched the first part of an episode on a flight last weekend. I had read the book, but we don't have Hulu, and now I'm like, that might be a problem. We might need to get that.
It's so addicting. It's sort of stressful. I feel like watching it at night sometimes isn't good for my anxiety because it really gets you going a little bit. But
yeah.
But it's so good. But yeah, Scott makes fun of me because I'm in a book club, and we literally don't talk about the book in the book club. We just drink wine and eat and hang out.
Have you seen the movie Book Club?
Yeah.
So good. Like
it's really
that's
cute.
What every woman needs.
Oh, it's so fun. It's just an excuse for all of us to get together. Most of my friends have kids, and it's like our one time a month that like is totally blocked out.
Yeah.
And husbands take the kids, and so.
Oh, that's so great.
Like, so what was the assessment of the book? And I'm like, that it was good. I'm like, that's about it.
Right. That's where we got.
Yeah.
What's your favorite season?
I love winter.
Because it's not 116 degrees?
Yeah, it's not 1,000 degrees. It's actually been weird last winter, it snowed in Scottsdale, which is insane. But I love being cozy. I love when it's cold out.
Yeah.
And we don't get a lot of rain here. We tend to get a lot of rain or more rain in the winter.
Okay.
And so while most people love the sun, we get so much sun in Arizona that when it's cloudy all day long, I'm totally into it. And I just like to put the fire on and watch Christmas movies and be cozy.
Oh, see, that's perfect.
Yes.
What is your favorite workout?
So I used to be a somewhat obsessive runner. And now I'm trying to do things that are easier on my body. And I've been doing Megan Roop, who you can find her on Instagram, but she has online workouts. So I alternate between her and Melissa Wood Health is another one that you can find on Instagram. And they're
Perfect.
like gentle. Melissa Wood is like more gentle yoga Pilates stuff.
Okay.
And Megan Roop is dance cardio, which Scott loves to sit in our bedroom and make fun of me while I do it. Coupled with like a Pilates toning segment. So I do that. And then also Pure Barre has online workouts that I've been doing. I've been doing most of my stuff at home.
Yeah.
And lots of walking.
Perfect. Are you more of a home cooked meal or a takeout kind of gal?
I prefer takeout for the convenience of it, and I hate doing dishes.
But now you have that amazing kitchen. Does it make it easier?
Yes, it actually does. We have a massive island, and we've got a 6-burner stove, and it is more fun to cook for sure. But I still prefer takeout.
That's so funny.
At the kitchen and sit in there.
I know. It's it looks so great when it's all together. So it's like, yeah, let me just order takeout so everything can just stay clean.
I don't want to mess it up, but I try to eat healthy and I like to know what's going in my food. Mm-hmm. I like takeout more, but I probably cook more than I take out.
Yeah. Okay. And last one, what is your drink of choice?
Ooh. So if I am drinking what I want to drink, it's rosé.
Okay.
And then if I'm trying to cut the sugar, I do either a vodka soda with lime or a tequila soda with lime.
All right. I'm with you on the first two. Tequila and I, no thanks.
I joke that tequila is bad for my attitude if it's consumed in large quantities.
I had a little too much fun with tequila in college, and we have not been friends ever since. So, so I stick to wine and vodka too.
I only right now, just because, I mean, first of all, I'm a lightweight after the year I've had. And just trying to keep myself healthy. Like I'm 2-drink limit any night. I haven't had more than 2 drinks in one night since all of this happened. So I feel like tequila is okay because I don't overdo it anymore. Like I did in college. And I used to do like Red Bull and vodka or Red Bull.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I can't even smell energy drinks anymore without like flashbacks. Rich, my husband, drinks them and I'm like, ugh.
White Claw. That's like the new thing, I guess.
Oh yeah. They're easy. They're very easy.
Yeah. We have some of those in our fridge in the garage for entertaining, but I haven't had any.
There's nothing wrong with that. Don't get that addiction started too.
No, I don't want to get sucked into that.
Well, Jenn, where can we find you online and continue this conversation with you online?
My Instagram handle is at Tom Jennifer, THOM Jennifer. And I believe that's actually the same on my Twitter. I should probably know this. But.
Right. I'm like, I don't know. I mean, my Twitter's out there somewhere.
Oh, no. I forgot. Scott made me change my Twitter when we got married. He was like, can we please have your new last name somewhere? And so my Twitter's J Harrington 81.
There we go. Well, we will tag both of those in the show notes. And like I said, it was an absolute pleasure to chat with you. I had so much fun with you this evening, and I cannot wait to meet y'all in January.
I'm really excited to meet you, and thanks so much for being interested in our story and having me on.
Absolutely. Well, have a wonderful night. Hopefully your insomnia isn't too bad tonight, but if you're anything like me, I get really jazzed after these and I really struggle to sleep because I replay the whole thing in my head. So if you can't sleep, I'll be up too. So just let me know.
We can text each other about
Perfect.
Hallmark movies.
Yes, exactly. That sounds fantastic. Well, perfect. Well, have a wonderful night.
You too.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for joining me this week. Let's continue the conversation online. You can find me at Goldfish Podcast or at Miss Amy Goodman on Instagram. See you next week.